All right, hey, what's up, guys? So I mentioned in my last video of the tent over the container that we do a tent squaring diagram for our bigger tents, definitely our bigger pole tents. It really helps out, and that's what we use. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that. I will try to do another video on job site, actually showing us how to use it, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it real shortly here. On my paper and show you how to do that. So for our big tents, we use the two 300-foot tape measures. Now you have to have two tape measures, but they do not have to be this long. They do have to be the tape measures and not the wheel, and they have to be this kind of tape measure and not one of these. So anyway, I got two of these, both 330 feet long. I've got four spikes, 14 inch, I think it's 14 inch spikes here. I've got four of these. And I also use, well, I got this one here. This one here has got some rope on it. I also sometimes use kite string, but that's not a must. See, I also have one here of, I think it's 150 foot long. I don't use this too much because most of our tents take the bigger tape measure. But anyway, let me go ahead and explain this with these tape measures. So first you would take both your tape measures, you pull this out, and you would also pull the same one out here. So you would take it like this, put both tape measures on one anchor, just like that. And you'll stake this down at this first mark. I'll go ahead and show you that. But go ahead and take both tape measures and do that with it. Okay? So you would go ahead and anchor that down. Let's see if I can get this. Anchor both those tape measures down in one spot. So your first corner of where you want your fabric to be at. Let me change locations real quick. All right, I got your whiteboard here now. Now it'll be easier to explain and see. So let me go ahead and set you down. All right, so I got me a laminated sheet here. But okay, so I'm gonna mark out a 40 by 100 right here. Okay, so about 40 by 100, we're going to mark out the stake line. We're trying to figure out the stake line right now. Don't care about what the fabric is. So I'm gonna start at the width. So if it's 40 by 100, I'm gonna do a stake line of 5 foot, a 5 foot on each side. So 40 by 100, and my stake line is going to be a 50 by 110 is my stake line. Okay, so I first mark my two tape measures, anchor those down right here at my width. And this is going to be a point A. Okay, a little hard to see on the video still. But anyway, this is point A, okay? I take my first tape measure straight across the width, 50 feet wide, okay? Right here, we'll call this point B, right there. And this is a 50-foot line right here, 50 feet, okay? And now with the same tape measure, we're going to take it this way, down that way, look a little farther, okay? Right here. This is going to be point C. Okay, with this line here, this line is going to be, let's see, that line is going to be 110 feet. 110 feet, because you want to go your 100 foot plus 5 foot stake line here, 5 foot stake line here, so 110 feet. So this full tape measure is going to be 110 plus the 150. So this tape measure will read 160 over here. It'll read 160 at this point right here. Let me get you down a little further. Okay, so this down here is going to read 160. One tape measure, that way. 50 feet plus the 110 is 160. Now your second tape measure, you're going to stretch straight across this way. Meet up right here at point C. Now this distance right here, you're going to come to your card. If you need a picture of the card, send me a text, get me on Messenger, or put a comment on on YouTube there. I'll send you this card. But this card will explain it. 40 feet wide. So you go 40 feet here down to how long you need it, which is 100 foot. And your diagonal line here is going to be 120. If you look closer, not going to be able to see it. Anyway, it's going to be 120 and 10 inches. So this line here, 120 foot, 10 inches. Okay? So 120 and 10 inches right here meets up with 160 right here. Okay? That's how you'll know that that's going to be a square tent. Okay? And now you need to find this point right here. Your, I guess, point D. You'll have to find this point. So to do that, you will take your tape measure, your second tape measure, unroll it right here, out to 160 feet. So your both tape measures will read 160 at this point. Okay? And now you grab right here, and you stretch this out this way to right here. And whenever that you tighten this line and tighten this line up, that's right here. That's where you should be at 110 feet right here again, and you should be at 160 right here. And that's how you square that tent. And now again, that's the stake line. So at that point, you'll have your tape measure around the whole tent. So at that point, you get your marking tape, and you figure out how you already know where you need your stakes every 5 feet or so. Most of my tents are every 5 feet. So then you take your tape measure, start from here, or really wherever you want to start from, and you put a spray mark dot every 5 foot through here all the way around the corners. Okay, you do that. You take your tape measures out. You start drilling stakes in the ground. And what I do also, I take my tape measures like this, and at my corners, you see I got a little tape spray paint here. So I go 5 foot this way, put a spray mark. 5 foot this way, put a spray mark. Okay, and then I take this tape measure, I go 5 feet from this part in, and put a dot here. Here, 5 feet here, put a dot. And this will be my corner. My corner pole is right there. I do that to all 4 corners. And that's all I do. All I care about is where the fabric corner will be. The rest of it, I don't care. It's just going to be the stake line. But anyway, yeah, that's how I get my stake line down and go. There is ways also, if you know your tent, you can also mark your center poles. And you can also mark every pole. You mark every pole you want to, or you can mark your center poles if you have to know where those are at. You can also, if you look at this here, your sheet here, you can also mark your fabric. If you want to, you can go do the same diagram, same equation, and have a square here for your fabric. Fabric line and a stake line. So anyway, that's your choice on that. But pretty easy to mark my stake lines. And this, if you do it this way, your fabric never touches the ground until you have all your stakes in the ground. So a lot of our problem we had starting out with these bigger tents, like we would park our truck, say over here in this area. A 40 by 100 is not that big, but it's still big enough to walk around. It takes lots more steps. But definitely, like this week, we're doing a 60 by 120, so a whole lot longer. We may park our truck right here, and if you lay your fabric out and start lacing it, you got 120 feet right here. And if you send a guy to lay your stakes out, he's got to walk, say 60 feet this way, 60 feet this way for 6 by 120. So 60 feet this way, 60 feet this way, and then say even another 60 feet this way, so you won't walk in the fabric. So 180 feet or so just to get to this point to put a stake down and a side pole down, and then all the way back around. Depends on how many he carries. That's a long trip. So anyway, if you mark it out first, you can either park here still and walk straight across the tent, whichever direction you want to go. lay stake straps, side poles down. Lay all that down already. Walking just whichever way you want to walk. You know, you don't have to worry about the fabric. Or you can drive the truck straight around if you want. That's always an option for us, or that's not always an option. It's sometimes an option for us. Another good thing, if you're on asphalt, you can put your generator right here in the very center and stretch your extension cord to drill holes. You can stretch it straight across to all these points, never moving your extension cord, never moving your generator. Again, we had to put a generator here and drag the generator around the whole 160 feet. 100, I don't know how long that is. It's 120 plus 260, so you're probably 400 feet, linear feet, going around the tent, dragging that and drilling holes. That's a lot of extra work. So again, we use this a lot now, a lot better. Another a good thing, use the marking tape, marking paint. That's not water-based, I think they call it. You don't want it washing away when it rains. Sometimes we go out and mark the job before the day of setup, so if it rains that night, all your marking is gone. So make sure you use a spray paint that doesn't just wash off in the rain. But other than that, that's about all we do. With my kite string. So with that, sometimes I use that. Most of them I don't, but sometimes I use that I put this stake in the ground, and then I put this stake in the ground, and then I put my stake string, my kite string from here to here, and that way I get a really straight line for my stakes. Most time that's not needed if you have your tape line down, tape measure. That's really not needed too often. But before I did it this way, I use that a lot. Anyway, I think that's about it. If you have any questions on this, just let me know. And again, just comment on my. Go ahead and like this page and this video, and send me a comment saying you want a picture of this, and I'll hook you up with a picture of this, the back and front. This right here is the more of the instructions of how to use it, and that's the diagram. So anyway, send me a message. I'll get this to you. There's also a stake diagram. I think it's called a stake diagram. Stake squaring. It's called stake squaring app. That does the same diagram. You type in the numbers on your phone, and it tells you. So I'll also get that app and link it in the description, so you can see that app. That's mainly what I use. I don't use this too often because I've always got my phone with me. And it's a whole lot easier to use than this. This isn't hard, but the phone is just a whole lot easier to pull it up, get your dimensions, and go with it. This here only shows your stake line. The app shows your stake line plus your fabric line. So that's on there. Also, with this, just gonna mention this out. If I send you a picture, you'll see it, but this is only meant for 5-foot stake lines. So if your side pole is 7 feet tall, you want a 5-foot stake line. 2 feet shorter than your side pole is your stake line. So an 8-foot side pole is going to be a 6-foot stake line. A 10-foot side pole is going to be an 8-foot stake line. So that's the pitch you need on that stake line. This equation here is only good for the 5-foot stake line. And then if you want anything different than that, you have to figure that out yourself. Still not too hard off this, but it's a little more difficult. But anyway, the app you can put in there how far you want your stake line to be. So anyway, the app's a lot easier. But I will send you this and link that in there. Other than that, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. I will try to do one on the job site. Not sure if it will be this easy or not on there. But anyway, I will try to do one on job site also. It just might not be soon because I'm pretty busy. Anyway, there it is. Let me know if you liked it. Please like it. Comment if you want the picture. And thanks for watching.